We'll drop it in 15 minutes on YouTube. Straight up. There we go. Boom.
That's crazy.
There we
nice
go.
job, bro.
Yeah,
Nice
there we
job.
go.
Nice job. Okay.
It's like the whole
you shared
Y2K
us?
thing.
You shared us
I
on
shared us. I
Facebook?
shared us. It
Okay,
gives
we
a little
sound
bit of love.
good. We sound
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
We're
Now
vibing. We're vibing. We're vibing.
Okay, so number one, let's attack Adderall.
Oh, we're attacking Adderall.
I want to talk about it because
We're
I was
attacking.
listening. I was listening to this guy explain, right, about him doing Adderall for the first time. And he was prescribed it for his ADHD. And this guy was saying it in a light that I hadn't heard anyone else say it in, where he was basically saying, like, all my life I struggled. See, that's what's hard. It's hard really understanding what the diagnosis is and what the symptoms are of the disease. But he was saying basically he struggled all his life with like nonstop thought. He can't focus on anything.
Right.
He took Adderall and it changed his life because he was finally able to like single out thoughts and things like that. And he was basically saying like, damn, is this how normal people think? And it had me thinking like, well, what is that? Because, well, I think a lot. I mean, does that mean I have ADHD? And if so, do I want to take something for it? Like, why do I always have to? That's the thing I don't understand. Like, people are like, oh, you should go to a therapist or you should go to a psychologist. Why? Even if I know I have something, right? They tell me I have something. Why do I have to take a medicine for it?
Yeah.
Not everything. Yeah. I don't want to cure it. I don't want to cure that.
Yeah.
And I definitely don't want to have to be dependent on something to cure it.
Yeah, and I mean, like, the idea, I mean, like, what we've seen, you know, I mean, I don't know about your personal experience, but what I've seen, at least, you know, with people who take those types of concoctions that kind of level them out, man, they are shells, because it not only kills that overactive brain, but it kills that imaginative brain. It kills that part of your brain where you're able to imagine, you're able to see, like, it's like they're at, like, 150. You know, they don't drop it down to 100. They put that shit down to 75. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not even where a normal brain activity would be. It's just you're way numbed beyond that.
How do you know that?
Just from what I've seen with people, I mean, could that then be the normal self?
How do you know what a normal brain is?
I don't.
That's
what
I don't. That's what I'm
saying.
thinking.
But like that, like let's say like there's.
Do you have a normal brain?
I doubt it. You know, for better or for worse. I don't think my brain's normal. But it's hard to say.
But you don't know what normal is.
Because, like, you know, exactly. Because, I mean, like, because the normal, what normal would be a metric of, like, what's the average of, like, where everybody's at. You know, that'd be, like, what you would consider, like, kind of, like, normal brain usage or brain activity or, like, whatever the case may be. You know? But that would probably be about it. Where's the average, the median?
I don't know if there is one. How do we even know that? Or, like, how do you base what kind of brain this is? Like, oh, this is a depression brain? But there's certain things that bring out more happiness than, like, a happy brain?
Well, it's not only that, but it's a brain that's analyzing another brain. That's the weird thing. Like, because we're talking about, like, humans, like, your organ for processing thought and thinking, you know, like, it all happens in here. Then you have this brain that then observes another. It doesn't even observe it with its own, you know, thing. It relies on eyes that are then connected to the brain, and then we process that. So, like, it's not even able to, like, do that on its own. It has to have everything else in the human to observe this, but yeah, it's going to make rash conclusions about another brain and then apply it to itself. It's just insane to me how you could even ever do such a thing. Like, you are people where we can examine things, but can a thing examine its own self in that type of nature?
Well, like, sorry,
No,
I was thinking. You ever seen how they say like your tongue knows what everything would feel like? You ever seen that? Think about everything in this room. Look at everything in this room, and then imagine putting your tongue on it, and you know what it would feel like on your tongue. Anything. Look at anything, and you're okay. It's crazy. It really is crazy. It's weird, right? So I was stringing this guitar right here earlier, right? And I was watching as these waves, like, there's a crazy thing with this guitar. If you any guitar, right? If you string a guitar and you just go down it, you can like almost hear the sound as it goes down, right? So you watch these waves, and that's like that video that you seen that was like through underneath of there, and you seen those things string, like, and that thing goes always down. And then I started thinking, well, what if I was deaf right now, right? And I was watching this thing string all the way down, could I interpret the sound the way that my tongue is able to interpret the taste of things without knowing?
And I think you could, because I mean the strings, which are creating the sound, they're vibrating. What you're seeing is sound frequencies. Is sound, you know?
We can hear.
But we have a visible instrument now, as in strings, where you can see that type of thing. I mean, I would think that someone could at least figure out at some point, through more study, because you don't have sound to go off of. So now you're doing something completely different. That you would be able to figure out that slower and longer vibrational frequencies have a lower pitch than something that strings a lot faster and smaller frequency.
You would make your assumptions.
Yeah, but you would never know. You can never confirm it. You can never confirm it. You can never confirm it. And that's one thing that makes things tough, because of all five senses. We have none of them. Oh, well, you don't wear no glasses or nothing. You have good vision, 20/20?
I think so.
Yeah, you don't have problems with your daily life. Yeah. So I mean, like, we have never, just like someone has never seen, the day, the sky, whatever you're looking at right now. We have never not known not seeing or not hearing. We've never known such a thing. So like, you couldn't even, like, we sit here, like, people ask you all the time, is like, okay, can blind people dream? What would they see in their fucking mind? How would that work? I mean, like, it's so hard to fathom, because we've never known such a thing. We've never known fucking such a thing.
To a blind person.
A blind person could, yeah, exactly. Just like he could sit here and be like,
you need language to be able to understand that. Like, now you're talking about you need to be able to speak. Well, thank God you can speak, because now we can at least make these
complex words.
You know what I mean?
Complex words.
When you get to like Helen Keller, where they say Helen Keller had to literally put her hand on the instructor's throat to feel the way that it like vibrated, bro. What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, bro. You're talking about like, that's just, it makes me think about like when people are in prison and they just accomplish so much in prison because you just have nothing else to do but focus on task. So like, if only task was like, man, I'm gonna fucking learn how to talk.
Task.
Every day. Every day, 10,000 hours, right? 10,000 hours on
one thing that, like, we've seen, like, you watched Alone. You put me onto Alone, and I follow, like, I go over it a lot. I follow a couple of like survival things on there, and a lot of the things that people will talk about, it's like, yeah, like, I packed in, I got all my food, I got all my water, but I brought nothing to do. Nothing to do, and that, like, I remember there was one girl on Alone where, like, pretty much she was like, I'm pretty much viewing my time span here in the form of projects. I have projects planned out for that I'm going to do, once you get survival out the way.
Nothing else to do.
Man, you will go crazy. You will go crazy out that bitch.
That's what I'm saying. You see those prisoners, they're in a 6-by cell, and what they have like this regimen they do every day. They walk this fucking cell the same way. They do the same exact push-ups, the same weighted lifts in this little 6-by-6 area, bro. And because like you have, in my opinion, you have nothing else to focus on, but like a regimen is every. Is that how you say?
Right, regimen.
Yeah, regimen would be everything at that point, because you have nothing else to bear your life on.
A regimen? Regimen. I'm thinking about it too much now.
Yeah. That's a hard one.
Yeah, and they're people, creature of habit, learn thought and ability, muscle memory, where like now, like when I think about things like that, it's to the point where your muscles feel more comfortable moving in that type of way every single day than doing something else, because this muscle memory is just locked into this bitch, man. And they're locked in, and your muscle, with that muscle memory, it becomes easier to move and go through that type of physical, regimen, like, in prison. Like, you're in your brain, like, one thing that gets your brain thinking a lot, pain, discomfort, things like that. Really, you immediately start going like, well, how can I get out of this? How can I get out of this? So like, when you're just moving, it involves a bunch of other things, but you're just moving that same pace all day, and it's just the same thing. I make a left here, I make a right there. Like, the time to think is just like taken from like this to like this over years.
Because you don't want that time to think.
Yeah.
Like, I always think with that sadness thing you're talking about right there, it's like, That's what I'm saying, bro. I'm trying to like, man, what's Nietzsche say? Like, the ultimate genius learns that you know nothing. So I'm trying like to not even formulate an idea or an opinion on things anymore. I just want to know about them, right? Because I'll never like if I know one more thing about them, it could change what I think about them today. So I'm not going to go to war over Democrats or Republicans or was this war right or was this war right or is that person dumb or I'm not going to war with none of that shit, man. I'm letting it go. So now when I'm at this point of understanding and I'm picking apart things, but like I'm hearing you say, oh, well, like, you're feeling like this, you're feeling down about yourself, and you're like, damn, I got to break this. Well, Steve, I think that's you, bro. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm really learning. I think that's you. So when we talk about like depression and shit, to try to have a better understanding of that, I think a lot of times you should understand that no one is you, right? No one is you.
No one.
So you think like that, right? But to speak in a broad term and say like we think, right? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe some people get to that point and they don't think like I got to find a way to get out of this, right? Like there's people that probably soak in it and that's what they want to do with life. That's an option. If that's what you want to do, that's an option. And then there's probably people that like want to be different but can't. Don't think like that. And then there's people that think like that and don't change. And then there's people that think like that and do change, right? So there's all these different people. So for us to be like, oh yeah, you start thinking like that, you do this, like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. We were kind of having this talk like a cast or two ago where you were saying about that with depression of like, getting out of it. And I'm like, what do you do when somebody's like, I don't know how to get out of it? Like, you can tell me. You can tell me, right? I was thinking a lot. I think so much about what we say, man, about, because a lot of time it's our first thought. It's our first time thinking. So I go back and I'm like, do I feel like that? Or
especially if there was a disagreement, you're just like, well, first of all, was I right to begin with? Because we were just not arguing off initial thoughts.
That's what we're doing. But I was thinking about like the childhood trauma we were talking about, and how I was saying like, I was saying like you can't do anything about that. Like, well, I mean, you can always choose to try to fight it and deal with it, but like once childhood trauma is there, it's there. That's what I was trying to say, right? So then I had seen like this person that was talking about like, well, the whole point of fixing people isn't letting them get to that point of damaged because it's hard to fix damaged people. The whole point is to give them a real community with something they can believe in, right? A mom, a dad, a workforce, opportunities, whatever it is, to ensure that they don't go through this trauma at childhood. That's the whole point of this. So I had to think through that. And I'm glad we have these talks, right? Because I'm able to do that.
Bro, same here. And like, I think about, especially how people think, to treat, trauma or, to treat any type of like illness, it's like, one of the greatest gifts and one of the biggest curses of the human brain is its ability to chase something down endless and endless. It was like what Neil deGrasse Tyson said one day. It was like, at some point you get to an end of that question, and it becomes tough to grapple with that. So, but we as humans, without a solid answer or anything, we will chase that thing down. And I think, when you think of how to treat, childhood trauma or any type of trauma for that matter, is, people think, okay, we don't have the answer yet, but the answer's out there for us to be able to scientifically heal trauma, and the same gift that allows us to even think to that point is the same one that allows us to chase something like that endlessly into a void for, however long we can go from there.
But in all fairness, first of all, I want my scientists to think they can solve it chemically, right? And then I want my therapist to think they can solve it with therapy. I want all of them to believe in what they're doing. We don't know this.
We don't.
I'm just trying to humble myself, Steve.
Yes.
Just humble myself so much, bro, to say, I do not know the answers, right? So when we were talking about that, like, we're live. Like we said, we're always live. Yep. So a lot of it's coming out pure. And it's like, I'm just screaming out psychedelics because I do not know the answer, bro.
Yes.
And I think we got to be okay with saying that. So everybody should be open to say, maybe this is the way. Maybe this is the way. But when we can't even have psychedelic tests, we don't even know. Like, I was looking up something, right? I seen a video where Snoop Dogg was talking about how back in the day, he had spiked multiple blunts for his homeboys with mushrooms. And everybody was geeking about it. And I was like, bro, I'm smoking blunts with everything almost. Well, not everything. obviously, right? But I was with everything. I'll tell you, don't do nothing. Like that don't do nothing. And I knew it. So I looked it up, and it was basically everybody was on there and saying like their personal opinion. And the scientific explanation of it is that there's no studies to confirm what it does because it's not allowed to be studied. But from personal memories,
reports,
I wouldn't
and
say
experiences.
recollections. I mean, I couldn't say it right. I struggle with a couple words.
Recollections.
Here. Recollections. Is that what it is? Okay, maybe. Okay, but personal recollections, like people were saying that basically they weren't feeling nothing or didn't do anything or it made them nausea. It didn't get nobody high, whatever it is. It didn't get nobody high or nothing like that, and I knew that. So but it made me think like, man, it's so weird that we have mushrooms that grow from the ground, bro, and we don't have one study on what happens if you smoke them.
Yeah.
It's like the dumbest shit I've ever fucking heard in my life, bro. It's so obvious to me. That's what I really struggle with. It's so obvious to me of like they're right in your face and they're telling you you can't do these things.
Yeah.
And then they tell you you can do these things. And we all agree they're corrupt and they're all bought. They tell you what you can't do. And you go, yeah, I don't try that shit. That shit's crazy. I remember, bro. I remember at such a young age. That's why I love my sister, bro. I literally remember one of the first thing, maybe the first thing my sister ever taught me. She said, whatever the government wants you to do, you should do the opposite. And I remember all my life it's so harsh. Everything. The more I grew up, the more I realized everything that they lay out for you, you should avoid. The easier they make it, the more you should avoid it. That's what I was talking about before, bro. Like, they're going to, I've went down my whole theory on this before, but basically, like, they're going to give you everything. Everything that the things we talk about in Utopia, eventually you're going to get them. They're just going to hold on to them for as long as they can to keep your dumbass thinking you deserve 15 when you deserve 50. You're so confused, but they'll fight you for 15 years till you get to 20. And then they'll fight you for another 10 years. All of this shit, they know that you should be having. But if you buy into it and go, oh, man, they say this is dangerous and you want to buy into propaganda, buy into propaganda and take chemically developed scientific lab medicines. Instead of taking a fucking mushroom, right? You eat a green pepper, you eat a yellow pepper, you eat a fucking zucchini, but you won't take a psychedelic mushroom. Mm-hmm. It just blows my mind, bro. People have really been sunk into the propaganda. And I think it's very sad, bro.
And, you know, I mean, we've seen a long-term example, you know, marijuana, you know, I think was like the most widely accepted, you know, drug that was, you know, that's still federally illegal. And most people, you know, say is harmless, has medicinal benefit.
Since the 60s.
Since the 20s, 30s, 40s.
60s
time.
Right, hippie
since time. We're talking like, yeah, exactly, you know, and now we're at a time. So we know about one instance already where a substance that was controlled, that was illegal, was all bullshit. It was 100% all bullshit. Weed is just another psychoactive plant that you smoke that grows naturally at the ground that people have been using just like tobacco forever. You know, like it's literally like, and we've now allowed people because people have eventually they're like, okay, guys, became a little bit more aware about marijuana. You know, but shrooms, you're still not getting that. You know, it's like I mean, like it's just. Yeah. It's just like when you really think about it, it's just like it's like what he was saying about the $15 an hour. You know, they're gonna give you that one thing that you want. Eventually, you got marijuana legalization. It's still not federally legal all the way, but they'll hold on to that, like you said, for as long as they can. But we, the people, already agree that's not harmful. There's medicinal purpose to it, and they still withhold it. Federally, some states charge it, crazy. We're now getting to a point where you see mushrooms being decriminalized. I think the two states, I think it's California, I think it's three, well, DC not state. DC decriminalized. Oregon or Washington decriminalize, and California decriminalize, where we're now the people will be able to get their hands on these drugs and analyze them in an actual setting. We've seen, people make way with MDMA therapy. With MDMA therapy, helping veterans battling PTSD, with success, and under, a couple sessions. Come on.
100%, right? And this ties into like a big thing. You stack. That's what I'm saying. You stack these thoughts and these ideas together until you, right? So I've talked to you before, but like, people see the world as one way that it played out, right? Of Big Bang, Jesus, AD, BC, here we are. And then there's like another way where you can look at it where it's like, Jesus could have been a schizophrenic, bro. Right?
Yeah.
So these people create cults, bro. That's what they did. They created cults. So you can call them religions all you want. But what they did was they created multiple cults, right? And they create them in times of despair, in times of desperate, right? When people are the most desperate, that's when these people will come in and tell you they have all the answers. And when you look at life a lot differently like that, look at all of those religious leaders as cult leaders, right? And think about Jesus starting a cult and Moses starting a cult or whoever you want to believe it. And they take advantage of a time when people they don't know. They're unfamiliar. Instead of us like learning a religion of I don't know, and that's the best way to go about it. We learn a religion of like, the answers. Somebody's got the answers. Who's got the best answers for me, right? So I've had these thoughts. So I've brought this up to you before of like, dude, I'm telling you, I think a lot of history was decided by numbers. And I've told you that before. Like, I think it really is who has the numbers. Mm-hmm. And I thought of you when I was reading this book, the Book of Five Rings, right? So this is all the way back. I mean, you're talking like 1600s or 1400s, whatever the fuck it is, right? And he says something in here that I mean, this is like one of the most prestigious war minds of all time, right? And he says this thing that really made me think about what I always say to you. And he says, generally speaking, the way of the warrior is resolute acceptance of death. Although not only warriors, but priests, women, and peasants and lowlier folk have been known to die readily in the cause of duty or out of shame. This is a different thing. The warrior is different, and in studying the way of strategy is based on overcoming men. By victory gained in crossing swords with individuals or enjoying battle with large numbers, we can attain power and fame for ourselves or our Lord. This is the virtue of strategy. Simply put, numbers, bro. With numbers, you can overwhelm. Now, you get whatever man it is. It doesn't matter if it's a king, a peasant, a woman, a man, a child. You get whoever you can to follow what you're following. You get accumulation of numbers that could succumb any one man's individual thought, right? So anytime someone has an individual thought, they're an outcast and they seem stupid. Oh, I can't believe that you don't think 1 + 1 is 2, right? There's no way 1 + 1 could be anything else. We've decided this is what it is. This is what these people do. And they gain numbers. So let me tell you what happened. The cults that survived were the ones that gained the most numbers. Mm-hmm. There was a crusades. They fought over it. Who won? Who had the most numbers, bro? It's really who's getting to these people first. Is it a good person with good intention? Is it a bad person with bad intention? And then there's levels to that. Is it a bad person that's like, okay, I'm bad because I want to be the boss, but I don't want to kill people, right? And then you got Hitler, right? Yeah, and then you got good people that are like, man, I just want to start something good. And then you got good people that want credit for start something good, like we were talking about, right? So you have these different levels of people that you need. Every single time, the good guy gets taken advantage of. That's why I keep saying, like, you need like a caveman backwards go, right? We need to be humble, honest, good people. But the guns never leave the situation, bro. The physicality, the fighting aspect of things, defending your own shit, you've got to do it regardless. All laws are based upon physical violence, right? Yeah. It's who's gonna enforce it. Because at the end of the day, you can say there should be no rape and no murder, and someone's going to decline that. Someone's going to say, I want to rape and murder. So what are they going to do what are you going to do when they do that? Are you going to decide to step up, or should we allow that person to go around and, defend yourself? No, we're going to shut that down. So we need guns. And there's going to be a time where we have to be violent. I say it over and over, man. I forget where I always heard it. But there's a part, I believe it's actually in the Bible, where it literally says, it says, when you spot evil, when you can identify evil, you have the right to destroy it. When you know someone raped someone, bro, no, you're not God, right? But you have a right to defend what your beliefs are. And you can't say that you're right, that this is how you feel. And there's no way to prove you're right unless I go to each individual human, like you literally have to do, and be like, have these talks, right?
Yeah.
And be like, what do you think? Is this how you feel? Because just be honest with who you are.
If you're
casting a dirty person, then just be honest.
And casting straight up, like you literally sit here and you're just, all right, who's voting for, to get rid of this guy? Hands up. That's not what you can do. You're having people make complicated decisions based off like just rash impulse thoughts. We're just like, we're like, the necessary thing is and this is where the complication comes into, like kind of like teaching the masses, and because first of all, it all relies on the education of the child. First of all, we've seen how hard beliefs are and personal truths are to overcome and to get rid of, especially when they're bad truths, when they're untrue, when when these beliefs are poor, based off like moral compass, the moral compass. When people like come out and they have when you're trying to get people to vote on something like that, the education, the talking, the talking out, because we sat here before, we talked about the film, or like you say something, we go back and forth, we're putting how we feel out there, and we could change minds. You could change people's minds. You can, what I'm saying? You can talk about it.
Think of the second thing, and earlier you were a little bit called up when we were talking about it, but so right, we're talking about these people. We're talking about these people that are expressing themselves, right, through whatever method, whether it be clothes, and like I said, we're both in the same boat. Don't get me wrong. But why would you say personally that you think like you want to be that, but you aren't?
What do you mean, like want to be?
Like you don't dress out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But like you want to, or like I was thinking about like that thing you said with the tattoo with your arm. Like but you never did it. Yeah. Right? So like I said, I'm the same way. I get it. Why do you think that? Because that guy will walk down the street with his fucking chain pants, 6-inch fucking boot stoppers on, mohawk, and he don't give a fuck what you think.
Yeah, exactly.
And here you are like saying you want to be that person, and you're not. So why do you think that is?
So for wearing the character, I think one of the biggest ones up front is judgment from the populace. We talked about being the center of attention. It's like calling attention to myself as me, kind of like there's like I'm looking for that attention. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like I think throughout most of my life, I've generally wanted to keep like all the eyes off me. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you don't want to. That's like you saw me go through like kind of like a goth phase where you're trying to explore your character and step out of comfort zones to like kind of like tackle those types of like issues. Try and find like where this niche is for you. You know what I'm saying? So I think one, society. Two, depends on how you view attention or attention seeking. I think that probably the majority ones there. Just societal judgment. Okay. People coming down on you, personal opinions of them, personal opinions of your friends changing based off what you might do. You know what I'm saying? And again, what if I had the second one I outlined?
I mean, what's gonna it's societal, and you don't want the attention.
It's being like center of attention, calling for attention.
Right,
doing anything too crazy.
Well, first I would say, like, imagine you were like on an island with 30 people, like starting a village, right? You wouldn't tell all 30 people to dress the same. You would encourage them to be like different, right? Yeah. And like, wouldn't a good person encourage you to be different too?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
To do those things,
exactly, man.
Right? So that's really like the main part that I think I'm understanding is like you just really have to trust that other people are good too, bro, and that they feel the same way about you. You know, somebody wants that map that I posted.
Oh yeah, exactly.
That squirt gun or whatever, and like. You just have to trust yourself,
and that's
bro.
why I tell you, like, you know, especially when you're looking for people, you know, like you think alike, or like if you're looking for friends, or looking to get along somewhere, it's like, well, you know, one of your first starts, you know, you can go to is you think about your hobbies, what you like, what you want to do. I say recently you've been wanting to get into gardening. Well, you might go to a gardening class, some basic gardening class, or you go to the flower mart or something like that, and spark up a conversation with some people. You know, if you're into mountain biking, you'll go to some trails. You'll meet some fellow mountain bikers. You know, not all of them are gonna be for you, but every once in a while you're gonna run into that cool guy that happens to also be a mountain biker. You know, and then like that just gives you one kind of like singular ladder. Okay, well, we do like bike riding, and I don't like all the things that you like. We don't share all the same hobbies, but you're a cool fucking dude.
So let's say in the perfect world, Steven is who he wanted to be today. What would Steven be wearing?
Yeah, man, that's crazy. Like I don't think my style. Like I feel like my style, like always, I'm late to coming on like things.
Let's just start.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't defend it. Don't defend it. Just say what would Steven.
Let me tell you right now.
First of all, just take a second, right?
Yeah.
Drop all your ego.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Drop what anybody would think of you.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah, it's
bro.
not easy. I just do it like that.
Yeah.
I just do it, even though I struggle with it every day. I
done.
can't get over it every day of my daily life. Yeah, I just did it like that in 1 second. Yeah. Now I'll tell you the answer. Is that really how it works, or do you really need a second to be like, damn, okay, let me really think. Like, really think about, like, start from the top.
But see, that's the thing, like, when we're talking about you, and we're sitting in front of a live podcast, but, like, when I'm here, I feel like I'm talking to you. And that's one of the things where it's like, I'm not going to be sitting there worried about, you judging me. Like, I just feels like a normal conversation. And, it's like, whatever's on here is on here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel like when you're up in the world and you're in front of strangers, there's a different guard up, And I mean, like, this live video doesn't create that same type of thing that I feel.
What about if this was like as big as Joe's podcast?
Oh, you would definitely think about some shit, dog. You would definitely think about some shit.
You would cringe more here? You'd be more afraid to be yourself on here if we had 1 million viewers than you would be walking down the street?
It would be. But this is the thing. It would be an adjustment. Because you don't have millions of people on you. You know what I'm saying? Just like you just said, where like it's not easy to go from just like that. Just like you were going from a couple people a couple people view the podcast, and then versus 1 million whatever those types of views are, and I mean his listens as well. You think about what you say and how people react to that, like especially with the type of platform.
Right, but it'll only be me and you in the room.
100%. Yeah, but it would be different, and it would be an adjustment. But I think we could get there. I think we could get there and get by that.
What are you wearing?
So you gotta say, I do enjoy the new short trend for men.
Okay.
Hoochie
daddies.
Yeah, because
hoochie daddies.
Hoochie daddies. Because I always loved shorts. I would wear jean shorts. I love jean shorts too.
Jean shorts, okay.
But like everyone's like jorts, dude. Like
shorts.
You know what I'm saying? But like that's why like the cool thing with like the hoochie daddies, like you got shorts. Like I never felt like there was a good length of short for men. So you had capris, then you had below the knee.
So you got jorts on. Where are you going with?
I mean, you see where my tan line is. It usually sits around there.
Like right there.
And it gets higher. It goes higher.
Are you like a dark, like a dark blue, or like a light blue, or black?
So I really enjoy. I like to match the season. There's like because there's fall colors. There's I mean, if I'm wearing today, let's say like we're stepping out. It's like I'd go more pastel, summery color. Like I don't even think I feel like
pastel.
Pastel. You got like sky blues. That's like a pastel color.
Like a blue, okay.
So and if you had like a
white.
Yeah, I think like pink, but like if you had like a softer pink, those are pastels. No, I don't like rips in my shit. I like just straight up hoochie daddies.
Yeah,
and to be honest, I like button down. I'd
probably have it. Let's go down first. Well,
I think feet are easy, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like you'd have some cool kicks. I don't think shoes are hard. I'm not sitting here saying I would wear heels. You know what I'm saying? That'd be crazy. That's like you know what I'm saying?
No, but like you could say, do you got boots on? Like some people.
I'm wearing tennis shoes. I'm probably I'm wearing tennis shoes.
Jordans? Are you trying to go hard? No, you go comfy. Like there's questions.
No, definitely go more comfy, more definitely
so
like a running shoe.
Some New Balances.
Like a running shoe, New Balance. Some Air Maxes. It's like
okay.
Air Maxes would be cool.
And what kind of socks you going? Are you low socks? Just low.
I love ankle socks, bro. Ankle socks. No show socks.
Plain sock.
I usually go black. I go black socks.
Black sock.
Yeah, that's the easy. Yeah.
All right, so now with the shirt, you said a button up.
Sure, I like button up. Remember that lemon shirt?
I wear button ups, and I've never seen you wear.
I wear that I wore that lemon button up to the rave. You know, like that's something I'd wear elsewhere.
It was a complete button up.
That was a button up, bro. I was like a Tommy Bahama shirt, more like it, but it was a button up. You know, it was a button up. You know what I'm saying? Like with that full print over it, like that bright, like those bright pastel colors, the pink, you know, the lemons, you know, I wear some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like,
okay,
yeah. You know,
what color are the shoes?
Yeah, I would also love to step out. Like, you ever seen like how those dudes like dress down like Cuban Miami, where they got the all white button up. You know, got the white hoochie daddies on, all white outfit type of shit. Yeah,
okay.
I would definitely. Like, I mean, like, cause
I got you.
I remember we talked about like I definitely see myself living someplace warm with some nice sun.
Okay, so we got a hat on, sunglasses.
I don't like hats. No, I definitely go some shades. I'll go some round shades. You know, some round hippie shades.
Would you get any
piercings,
tattoos?
I feel I'll be tatted. I'd be tatted the fuck up. I'd be tatted.
You're fully tatted in your
neck, chest, back, arms. You know, all the way down to the legs. Like literally just covered. No, I wear hats. No, I'm a hat guy.
Okay, no hats. Okay.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because like we go through life, and when you think about it, like fits, like there's things that like you've learned about yourself fashion wise as well. You know, it's like I have a rather large head. Hats I don't think look good. You know what I'm saying? Like it makes my head look larger.
So we got a white button up, right?
Yeah, you know, I don't think I'm anything too crazy. You know?
A white button up with some blue and white looking jorts that are hoochie daddies.
Not jorts, but they'll probably be like some regular hoochie daddies. They don't do jean material no more. But I'll be wearing some jeans. I might start my jean hoochie daddies. I like the ones they have now. I'm not sure what type of material they are nowadays, but they're not denim. They're not denim. But I would wear jorts places.
Small socks.
You know what I'm saying?
Small black socks. And what color are the shoes? That's what you never said.
I mean, probably trying to match the outfit. They're probably going white with that outfit. You know what I'm saying? Like the pastel. The pastel. You know, the pastel colors.
Okay, so let's just think about that person that you just created right there. He's nothing like you.
Yeah, you know, I mean, like, I definitely don't step out, you know, as much, you know. So I mean, like, I don't wear those things like on a normal everyday basis. Like, you know, I don't go. To me, those would be like you're going out places, you're going to be seen by people, you're going around people. But like, why would I just show? You know,
that's right there. That's what we're talking about right there. That part right there. I think that's what's ruining probably the dressing up to you is that you think like that. Is that you're like, oh, I dress up like this and to go have people see me.
To go out and you're around.
And you shouldn't feel like that. Really, it should be like, oh, I dress like this today because this is how I want to dress. It didn't matter if somebody seen me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, you know, I mean, like
maybe you should try to remove that stigma.
Like, bro. You know, I mean, like, because I'm thinking like
person in this.
Well, because that's the thing.
I've never seen you wear anything you just named.
I wear the rave.
Bro, you
that was my most adventure shit.
Up.
Those are my I went out white button up. I think the pink was every farther than the white.
You've never wore hoochie daddy shorts.
I do wear hoochie daddy. I got them all day. Yeah, I got
jean.
I don't wear them up
here. Daddy shorts.
No, not jean hoochie daddy shorts.
No jean shorts at all.
No, I got jean shorts now.
And 3.7.
Yeah. Yeah, well, but there's other reasons behind that. Not just because I don't want to be seen in some white 397s. Then bitches 280. So it's like I also don't like spending 280 for Air Maxes. 280? Air Maxes are expensive as fuck, dog. What are you talking about?
New Balances.
The New Balances, yeah. The New Balances are $90. Yeah, but even then I'm like, man, $90. I'm just like, man, $90 for the New Balances.
I don't know.
You know, that's just like there's like other things like about that. Like I wear the hoochie daddies now. I've adapted to the hoochie daddies. You know?
I guess I'm just saying, like, it's just weird that like we want to be completely different people.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know? Yeah. It's definitely.
I was trying to say like, that's your Utopia Steve today.
You're going like chest out, out, straight up. You know.
It's weird, man. It's just weird.
Yeah, it's definitely odd. You know. Right? You know, that's definitely odd, bro. You know. I mean, like, again, you know, it's just like this is all the perception thing. You know, just all the things of how like you go out, like how people may see you.
So let's go to that part then. Let's go to that part of like, what do you think, like? Who are you afraid really? Because like, I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. You know, as I've gotten older, I think you've seen like I've gotten more confident, more comfortable.
That's what I was
my own
say.
skin. You know, like you could, and
handle it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, bro.
But you still don't do it.
Yeah. What like dress up like that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You know, definitely.
So now you know what you want to look like, and you're not afraid of what people say.
Yeah.
That was the two things you was bringing up.
Yeah, I mean, like it's just like, but like you still like, you have the idea, just like you have the idea. It's about. And just going out and just like doing something like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I imagine we go out like whenever. And that's the thing. Whenever me and you we had events planned, like we went out to like those raves. We went out to like that party at Power Plant. I went and bought a whole new fit. First because you want to look nice, you want to feel good about yourself. You want to dress yourself up. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think dressing like that every day, that's probably not me. But going out and like definitely following some fashion stuff, I've definitely gotten been working and getting more comfortable with shit like that and trying to step out.
That's what I was trying to say. Like, what would you wear today? That's what I was trying to say.
Oh, yeah, I got you. Yeah, I mean, like
you would have went a little bit more chill.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to go more dress, and it's funny
because I would go more like flaunty and flashy. You know what I'm saying?
I was thinking about that with you. I was like, man, if you dress like how you just said, and then you threw that thing in a ponytail. Got a solid look going, bro. Like, I'm telling you, man, there's like a modern Asian look going right now.
Oh, yeah.
All Asians should probably hop up on it, but like these Asians got something going where like they're sleeving one arm, right? They're getting a little bit bulky. They're tightening up their body, and they're wearing tight button-ups. Mm-hmm. They're dangerous, bro. I'm telling you, like, I've seen a couple Asian guys out here. They don't look nothing like the Asian guys used to be 10 years ago.
Bro, yeah.
I ain't never seen Asian guys built like this. Asian guys are different. And they're D-balling. They're at Gold's Gym. And they want your bitches. And they're coming for your bitches, bro.
Bitches D-balling. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, like, for a while, like, especially with, like, Asians, it seemed like, they were been at the bottom of the totem pole. You got the little dick, shit going around. And then you got, them saying that most women think that Asian men are like some of the least sexually attractive men out there. We got the double whammy for it, dog. So like that's why we go out and get money and get rich because them motherfuckers. That's this is like, bro, like a little straight up. You know how many times as an Asian man you hear you got a little dick. They say, "Oh, you're Asian, you got a little dick." Literally, bro. It is so out there, dog, and it's so modern, and it's so accepted too. It's so funny. It's
I mean, it's pretty, but it's also modern accepted that we just like, black men got big dicks.
But also, we sit here. But listen, we sit here. We have a campaign where people are like, "Stop sexualizing black men." Shit, sexualize us, motherfucker. Like, goddamn, you know what I'm saying? Like. They're sitting out there like, look, we don't want to be sexualized that much, guys. So shift some to the Asian dudes for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's come on. You can spare some.
I think you're pleading to
spare
everyone out there. You're pleading to them right now. I hear you, bro. I hear you. Yeah. I didn't know it was like this.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's tough because I mean, like it's different. I mean, like because I don't think about them too much. But now that you bring it up, like. I think about how I kind of like grew up and like things I've experienced. Like the first thing, especially when I meet new people normally, is that they point out the one thing and they're just like, "Oh yeah, well, okay, what's your name, Steve?" Like what are you? Like you like Korean, like Chinese? It's the first thing, and it may not seem much on the surface, but the first thing they're identifying is the difference about you. The different thing about what else is out here. Like, what is different about you? Well, you look different. You don't look fully white, like you don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just so odd.
But like, I don't know, like, yes, I get it. And that I don't know how that feels, right? But to me, like, I kind of think about when like those indigenous tribes see a white man for the first time and they like want to touch his hair and stuff. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Because but you see Asian motherfuckers out here all day.
Well, like also with you're kind of like a borderline. We've talked about before. Like we don't really. You can almost pass for a white. Yeah. You got to kind of stop and talk to you to really be like, "This is an Asian man."
That's what's always felt. They're just like, look,
it shouldn't come first. It shouldn't come first.
Not fully white. It's like, what I mean? And then people bring it up in small talk. It's how people say it as well. It's just like. It's just how, I like
that we talk about this stuff. Now, let me talk about something I wanted to talk about with you. Okay. And I push all the boundaries. But, I feel like I could do that with you. Because I think about, the other day, I think about too much. I think it's too much. It's shit that it doesn't add up. But I've thought about multiple memories in my head where someone has liked who you are, got comfortable with you very quick, and then said a black joke to you.
Oh, man.
And has not known that secretly you got a black queen at home. Yeah. And I've watched this probably happen like 3 or 4 times now. And every time, bro, first of all, Steve handles it like a champ. Because I would probably handle it the same way you do, where it's like, what's the point of even going down that road,
Yeah.
like whatever. But at the same time, I'm always kind of bothered. I'm like, because I know when I get around white men that are racist, they think they can do that with me. So I always think it's funny that like people think that they can now make a racist black joke with an Asian, and then like the irony being that you have a real ebony woman at home. Yeah. So I always wonder, like, how do you feel about that?
So when I think about things like that, you know, I mean, like, I can't lie, I enjoy some racial humor, you know. I enjoy racial humor, you know, and a lot of times I don't perceive it, you know, as people, you know, saying, you know, straight up, like, I don't feel like people are being like, oh, I hate black people, you know, or like I hate Jews or anything like that, you know. I mean, I grew up in an era where, like, you know, I love Carlos Mencia and his racial humor.
Let me just stop you for 1 second then, because you're probably, let's just say the last time we were together that this happened. I know you remember it.
Yeah.
It was recent,
yeah.
right? We all three were together.
Yeah.
And that happened.
Yeah.
Right? Did you think he was racist?
No, I don't think so. I think he might have been ignorant, you know, but I don't think he was a racist.
Okay. And it's funny, right? Because here you are as I wish people could just get to know me, right? Because here it's funny because you're as an ethnicity, right?
Yeah.
And you don't see it that way. And me as a white man, bro, I'll tell you that man was racist, bro. I'll tell you, bro. I can tell you the fact that on the second day of knowing you, I don't care how comfortable he's with you,
yeah,
bro,
that's true.
The second day of him ever knowing you, he thought that out there when you guys were having this cool, chill moment, right? And we liked the guy. We liked the guy, bro. I liked him the moment I disliked him the moment he said that, right? Because I'm just like, here it is, the second day. I'm more offended that you would say to my friend who is, you know, has and doesn't know about your woman, than you would say it to me. Here you guys are chilling, you're having fun outside, and he drops this on you, you know? And I'm just like, to me, it's a clear sign of like, bro, you don't have much in your character base than that.
Yeah.
And I bet a lot of your life is made around those type of jokes with the same type of people that look like you. That's what I see.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100%.
So it bothered me.
Yeah.
And it bothered, and I know, like I said, 3 or 4 times, and it sucks because it's people that I bring around you.
Yeah.
And they don't, it's not like I've never met that guy before and he said something like that to me. But all of a sudden, you guys are outside sitting down and like he thinks he can do that. Like it about me, Bob, because he doesn't know about your woman.
Yeah,
but like, me as your friend, when they do that, I'm always like, who the fuck do these people think?
Oh yeah, you know I definitely.
First of all, you say you're white, racist jokes to Caucasian.
So like I look down on people who say it because I think they're pretty childish. You know, like I think they're more clever. Racial humor is funny. You know, when you sit here and you tell those like old, you know, straight up, what do you call this and that punchline? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we all enjoy some racist skits, some racial skits or racial humor thrown in there. I think white people are getting the brunt of it pretty, you know, bad now. Where, you know, you got people literally doing, you know, white people skits left and right. It definitely seems way less impactful than what every other race has. You know what I'm saying?
I feel nothing.
You know, but we enjoy that. But like those types of jokes, I think are dumb. They're childish. Like that's like, you know, like I definitely look down on people who say those like straight like that like you know, like that classic one where there's a bum. In the ashtray, my mom, you know, like that. Come on.
Why do you think you don't confront them?
On something like that, you know, I don't think it's necessarily, you know, worth a confrontation. Like they came out strips at the N-word, now you got me fired up. You know what I'm saying? Now that's a whole nother level right there. You know, you just got me fired up. You dropped the N-word. That's like no go. You know, like you scrap somebody over that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like even if Brady's not around, like that's like first of all, like you drop some shit like that. Piece of shit, you know, on site, like it's, you know, but
they say that to you, right? And then you explain to them about with Bray, and they go into apology mode. You still beat their ass?
Oh, with like N-word?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's no apologizing that. You know, you drop that shit, like there's no apology after that.
Saying you just pop off when anyone says N-word.
Yeah, I feel pretty strongly about that word. You know,
pop off when anyone says N-word?
I feel pretty strongly, like dude, you straight up like you're out here like. I think about all the time. Like you see these moments where someone's getting like racially abused. Some dudes out there in some, you know, whatever face, calling them the N-word. It's like, man, I don't know, something about it, you know, just like, I don't know, it just ignites a different feeling in me, you know, just like you have hatred in your heart,
Right.
You know, like
and then the next mode of that being
like because
what do you think if you couldn't take them?
you couldn't take him. I'm sneaking him. Sneaking his ass. I was sneaking his ass. You know, it just that's something that like I feel it just ignites a different type of fire in there, bro. I don't know, you know, like someone just drops the N word racistly.
Does that word hurt?
Bad.
Does that word hurt you more given your situation than when someone uses Asian offensive terms?
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, like because you know, people. I've been called them before. You know, like chink, gook, stuff like that. You know, it's just like it's pretty desensitized to it for the most part, because. But I've also never had someone use it like that derogatory level, or like, you know, someone comes in here is like, oh, you know, I thought I would experience it throughout COVID, or someone just like, I just hope this chink motherfucker doesn't cough, you know, like then it's like another level type of disrespect, like where it just again it just ignites that fire. You have that hate towards me, not because of something I did. I could deal if you were angry at something I did, but you're just hating. You're just literally a racist piece of shit, you know.
What's that guy's name? David, the Asian guy on Joe
David Cho?
podcast.
Yeah.
David Cho?
Yeah.
Remember when he talks about that with his
His
dad?
dad, yeah.
That was one, right? We talked
Yeah.
about that before. That's one where it's like, that really made me recognize. And that's why I'm learning that there's certain subject I should just stay the fuck away from. And that's why I said, no matter what I say about how you feel, I don't know how the fuck someone feels that doesn't look like me.
Yeah.
Because with the white privilege thing, people can get mad all they want, bro. You've got white privilege. And I don't know how to tell you that any better way than I can tell you to your face. You've got white privilege, bro. It could have been the slightest thing. Yeah, listen, if everybody here was white, then there would be no white privilege, right? But this country has been founded a certain way. And there's been certain ways set up that we recognize, even in the slightest way, you are getting some type of favoritism as a white man, bro. And as a white woman, also. I mean, but really as a white man, it favors a white man.
Yeah, and the reality of the situation is that, you know, especially with white people, every race has had their turn under the sun. You know, you had the racism against the Chinese, the racism against the Koreans during the war, the Japanese. You know, you had people who were racist towards, you know, people from Africa. You had you know, people who are racist towards Mexicans and South Americans now. Like, no one's been mad about the Canadians though. Like, it's just it's just what, you know, like that's every race has had their turn under, you know, white people. Every single race under the sun. I mean, yeah, you know, you can't name one, you know, that hasn't been, you know, targeted by the white colonial power. And I mean,
what are you gonna do? I mean, are you gonna sit here like, you knowing who I am? You're gonna sit here in my face and be like, you know, this is your fault. You know?
No, exactly.
Like, there's a level of like understanding, right? Of being like, things are changing. Things are the best they ever been, right? Yeah. We definitely know that. It's the most PC it's ever been. There's no debating that. This is the first time there ever was PC, actually. You know, before you can just see that being a way of life is talking insults like that. Mainly probably insults more than compliments. Yeah. Now we're at a point where we're like, you don't say that shit. That's farther than we ever been, man. I know that.
Yeah, you know, it really is.
And lock that bitch up who lied on Emmett Till. She's still alive.
Yeah.
She's still alive. There's no reason,
and so much shit's come out about her.
There's no reason. Lock her up. Death penalty. Kill her. Kill her, bro. When you see these ultimate red flags, bro, I think, here I am, though, right? I can't do it, bro. Don't kill her. I don't know. I don't know. What do I know? What do I know about Emmett Till?
Yeah.
What do I actually know about Emmett Till? Nothing, right? I know the story that was given, the story that's been laid out, the names that have been given. But I agree that the government's corrupt, history's manipulated, and everybody's bought. So who am I to sit here and go kill a woman? I don't know. If I'm going off of what they said, she seems like a very dirty bitch that deserves to have some type of justice served on her ass.
Yeah.
But I don't know, bro. I mean, did Oswald shoot Kennedy? I don't know. Was there 2 shooters? Did we go to the moon? I mean, there's a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Pigeons are fucking spies.
Yeah, and you know, I think the reasonable doubt you know, that's where you take these things. You know, a health like because you could drive yourself crazy. You could sit here. Every single thing's a fucking lie. Everything's rose-colored glasses. You know, and I mean that's how we should we should approach all things with skepticism. You know, we shouldn't be so quick to accept narratives. What we're taught. I mean, how many things have you taught? You were taught throughout elementary school, middle school, and then they've even gotten to high school and been like, look, that's not actually what happened. You know, like Christopher Columbus was some other different shit. This is what really went down. You know, so you see how easy it can be, to be programmed, read then and there, off the rip, to be programmed, manipulated. This is basic knowledge. This is all basic historical knowledge. And if you don't know that, unfamiliar with it, then I think most people would consider you, an idiot. It's like one of those things where like you don't think you know about it every day, but you think about like the incidents revolving around like JFK, MLK. You think about incidents involving, the Afghanistan war, all these other types of political events throughout history. And the fact of the matter is, there's, the assumption that whatever particular outcome that was taught to us at the time was fact. And as humans, we've come to multiple conclusions where that wasn't the fact, that wasn't the case. So what else could these people hold over top of us when we're examining these thoughts? And then we tie our identity, because we don't want to seem like an idiot, with not knowing these basic historical facts.
And here's my favorite part about it, bro. Here's my favorite part about everything that you just said right there. What do they argue the hardest with the most conviction? Religion. The thing that is based off of. That's what blows my mind. They argue Jesus Christ harder than World War II. Literally, it seems like there's less people that deny Jesus Christ than the Holocaust. It blows my mind, bro, that they were able to just accept these things. There's not one Listen, say we didn't go to the moon, right? Say that if you want. But there's a couple things that could lead you towards believing we went to the moon. Right, I could lay out a couple of things, right? Yeah. Say there was 2 shooters with Kennedy. I could lay out why there could have been one, right? All of these things would be argued. There ain't one way you can defend what anything in that Bible says, anything in that Quran says, anything in that Torah says. There is no way to defend any of it. Not one single thing can be physically proven. There's no proof that the flood happened. There's no proof that anyone walked on water, that anyone was changing wine and bread or nothing. I mean, it doesn't exist in history.
And that's what makes it so tough when you're examining history of humans. That we go back to the Epic of Gilgamesh.
Why isn't the Bible a history book? Why can't the Bible be in history class?
I mean, there's just an end for people, and then people sit here. Look, this is the thing, because we get
it's true.
Look, this is
true. Why can't the Bible be in history class?
But this is the thing. So like with the Bible, when it came after like 3,000 or whatever plus years of recorded human history or so, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It came.
Jesus was a Roman.
Literally, yeah. Literally, that's when that type of shit. I mean, there were other religions and thought process, but like that in the beginning, it seemed like what religion started off as was kind of like the basis for like science before that big great split of like religion and science. So people are sitting there thinking, they're just like, why does the sun come up every day? And someone's just thinking, dog. Someone's just thinking, there's like, I think there's a sun being, like there's a gazelle, but it's the sun being. And it comes up every day for a certain amount of time. Like, that just seems like a natural progression of thought for certain things. But when you get to like Jesus Christ, all of a sudden there's this Messiah in the middle of the Roman Empire who's a Jewish man.
That can walk on water.
And you crucified him and came back and like what the fuck? This is the real savior of man. I don't know.
And they argued that with more conviction than anything. Something that has no proof, bro.
Yeah, and they will hold and back up, and put in power evangelicals, religious, people who truly believe in that shit, who really do believe that's the real key to life, is a strong foundation of Christianity, Catholicism, really any of the major religions. That is what you revolve your human existence around. So it's your identity. It's a being, and it has possibly created some of the worst people that we've ever seen.
It's possibly the worst thing that ever happened to planet Earth. Honestly.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, why do you think this is what I'm saying? I'm trying to get people to see it differently, right? And I don't know how to say it yet, but I'm gonna think about it more and more.
With how religion or
why do you think, right? It's such a simple way of putting it, but let's think about why do you think that the one that was believed in the most is the one that stuck, right? And I know I'm not saying that the right way, right? But there's something there I'm trying to say where it's like the ones that were believed in are the ones you still believe in. And I don't know why that is. I don't know what it is specifically because none of it can be proven.
No. And I mean,
I'm not wording it correctly, but I'll figure that out.
And that's what they teach. One of the first things they teach within religion, have a little bit of faith.
Not a little bit, yeah.
No, don't you don't question, the good Lord. You don't, this is his casting judgment. This is what's been decided upon. And there's no reason to question that because that's the word of God. Because, I mean, as I'm sure as man grappled with their identity, what they're thinking about religion, spirituality, one person happened to figure out that there's only one being that humans will put above themselves. That's probably some type of religious figure or some type of divine being. I mean, I'm sure they probably even had to create a new word for that shit. They're like, it's divine. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like it's beyond human comprehension, but it is a being. It's a person. It's a person. He looks like you. He created us in his image, and he transcends us. That's the only thing that could, break down.
Dumbest shit you ever heard, though, bro.
It
really is, bro.
Yeah,
it really is. I mean, I hate being offensive towards anybody's beliefs or thoughts, but he created you in his image. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. You could interpret it any way you want to, but I'm just amazed by the fact that they can't prove any of it. It's like the most believed thing on the planet. Like people believe in religion as much as they believe in science, bro.
I think it has anything to it's because I'm trying to think of its capability and its asset to a human and what it might why people might find comfort in it. So I think one of its greatest assets that it immediately gets rid of is it answers your death question. And I think people, when they're in those sketchy situations, man, they start praying to God.
That was just about it.
And when they feel like they got God behind them, they may walk in that fire.
Just like I said earlier, bro. When you're desperate is when these people come. Think about it's when they're going through something horrible. I was in prison, I found God, or after this happened, after this traumatic experience, I started going to church, I found God, or I got cancer, I found God, whatever it may be, right? It's it's after these traumatic experiences because people are desperate. So all you want is someone to give you an answer. And to me, in my opinion, the Bible just gave you one of the most lurid answers. It just gave you an answer that you wanted. And really, like I keep saying, the religion should be, I don't know.
There shouldn't be.
Knows, bro.
It's like, we can decide upon ourselves. We can do a checklist of, morals and values and things we want to seek in, humans. And, when it comes to, religion, it's like, they've attempted to do that in a sense to create more of an ideal human. But I mean, none of that shit matters because they have the one biggest out they teach is the repentant. You repent, you give yourself up to God that on your deathbed and you're saved. Like
what does a horoscope do for you that Bible doesn't?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right? But a Christian will tell you that horoscopes are bullshit.
Yeah. Like I said, you can give this checklist of morals and values you want to see in people, And I mean, like the moment you put behind, hey, if you step outside these things, it's like you're cursed. It's like no, it's like really like, and if you're especially in a village setting, you probably get killed or some shit. Like it would just like when humans, like those just be you enforce those morals.
What do they say
you
all
institute
throughout?
those
They
things.
say all throughout time, right? You will not go to heaven if you were gay. Until there was too many gay people.
I've heard a lot of things about where that originated. I think one of the more interesting ones I've heard was an implementation by King James after the plague.
Right. See,
Or
it's
the
funny
version.
because that's the benefit you get of when someone's translated 30 times.
Yeah.
You can scream in people's face that they should believe it and that they should give you 10% of their income. And then if there's anything in there that you need to change, you just say, well, it was because it was altered. But anything good in there that you like, I can't say that was because it was altered. So when you say, oh, turn a blind eye or, whatever the fuck you want to tell me, I can't say that's bullshit. But anything bad that you want, we can say that's bullshit because it was rewritten. You see what I mean? They get these advantages. They have all these scapegoats. And there's also, everything's up for interpretation.
And
if the Bible's anything, it's a guide.
And what do we as humans know about exploring ideas? Is that when you hit that wall, it's like you can't. Well, for one, you can try and search for the answer. You can commit yourself. You can keep digging, keep searching for that answer. But again, what we talked about earlier is like humans will bang their head against the wall to find an unanswerable answer. There could be something that like, and with religion, they've tried to go through and answer all these, but they just can't. You just cannot. There's some answers you cannot provide, and then you fill it with malarkey. You fill it with things to distract, things to make you think differently, things to just kind of like move your gazing eye upon something else.
To keep, yeah, exactly, to keep you going, and every single thing in there they've tried to answer instead of having one time where they can say you don't know or we don't know. Everything in there has to have a single answer, and you follow these things blindly. I don't know. I just don't get it. But like I said, bro, at this point, like there's enough people on this planet to where we don't even have to worry about them. We really don't, dude. It's gonna be okay. Like we can just, if that's what they want to believe.
I mean, like, and
that's
what makes it. That's one thing I think about is like, I think a lot of people agree that like the whole idea of that was hijacked by evil people. So I mean, like there could be a spot. There's spots for religious practices and rituals and spirituality.
Right. But my thing is that people are living by this, right? And I don't think it's meant to be lived by to where you're crucifying every single last word in there.
Yep.
I think it's meant to be a guide. And we even had a thing like this in our group chat earlier where like I'd share something that Neil deGrasse Tyson was saying. And, one of our friends was like, does he even have kids? Like, I don't see how you could say this. And I was like, I didn't even respond because I'm thinking in my head, not everything is meant to be taken literal, dude. And if something is fine, that this 5-minute rant is right, you watch it hoping that 30 seconds will make sense to you. And you're like, you know what? Okay, no, I don't agree with his stance, but when he said that, that made sense. And you carry that with you and you keep creating your own thought. It's not like, oh, this guy's saying his belief, he's wrong. Yeah. That's so wrong to do to people, bro. Instead, you should take what you get from something. You read the Bible. You take what you get from the Bible. You read the Quran. Take what you get from the Quran. Everything you experience this person, you take what you get from them. Nobody has to be right or wrong. And you don't have to get everything. I don't have to get nothing.
And one of the other things is you don't have to feel pressured to have some type of abstract viewpoint on the world.
True,
there should be no pressure on you to formulate an opinion like that. People will, come to you and be like, well, okay, well, you don't have any, I mean, like, why so quick to, cast just like that judgment on the people who like you don't need. There should be no pressure to find something like that or to be able to make up and do that. You live.
I feel like that really comes from though the ego in other humans, right? It's like when I find this new song, it's like, look at this song, dude, you're gonna like it, right? Like that's really what that comes from of other people like, oh, I learned something about the stars.
Yeah.
I can't wait to tell you.
Yeah.
Now, look, you believe this about the stars? That's cool, right? Like, there's like this ego in a person that makes you want to be like, I know something no one else does, and I need to show it to people.
Yeah.
And that it sucks.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what makes the consumer of the information be like, oh, I'm supposed to know shit. I'm supposed to have like vines and lights on my ceiling and shit, right? Like this is supposed to be vibey in here, or like I'm supposed to be when I'm outside, I'm supposed to be like this person outside, or online. I only share memes online, or I don't share any memes online, right? Whatever it is, like people are like trying to like strictly be these things instead of just having this water flow, right?
Yeah.
Of whatever comes and goes.
So that's like, as people, let's not be so quick to jump into a box around ourselves. Let's not be so quick to jump into the next subgenre that becomes popular. I mean, like you find it cool, but it's like, the identity that gets so wrapped up into it when really we're all those things, and really what we should be doing. We should, like, you hop in the punk rock circle. I mean, like, you have the way to dress, but like, if you don't, you could have your new punk. There's so many, like, people will then take their spin on a subculture and just do something else different with it. That's how subcultures come up. We get so wrapped up in the identity with it, when really our identity is the exploration of all these things.
Someone absolutely blew my mind when I was talking to them about this before, right? I was talking to them about God, and I was explaining to them how I think like I'm God, right? And they were explaining to me like, okay, well, if you think you're God, that means you think all people are God. Right? That's what you're saying, because you're not saying you're God. You're saying like humans are God. We're all pieces of God is what I'm saying, right? So then I have to look at you as me, because I can't say I'm better than anyone. So you're also a piece of God. So I could have easily been you, or you could have easily been me, right? So it's very fucked up of me to be like, oh, I don't like that person, when it easily could have been your characteristics and your traits and your personality. Like, and so you can't go around saying, well, I believe we're all God, but I'm mad at some of you, or some of you aren't. It goes back to like that movie, The Shack, I was talking about, where he was explaining like, okay, well, you have two sons. One does bad, one does good. Can you punish both? Like, can you decide which one of your children are better? It doesn't work like that. If we're all God's children, then we're all equal. So if someone does bad, that's when it gets tough, right? That's when we get into these gray areas of like, do we have the right to like, persecute this someone? Is that even evil? Or is that just another reflection of myself that I could have easily been? Is the whole point of prosecuting, right? Because like prey and predator, right? Like a prey is always going to be the prey to that predator, right? It's always going to get hunted by that. Like whatever it is, let's say there's a fucking fox and a lion, right? That lion's always going to hunt that fox and kill it 10 times out of 10, right? But the fox still reproduces, knowing that every time it sees a lion, it'll die. There's these never-ending cycles that I think we have to accept once we start saying things like we're all God. And it really opened my eyes when this person told me this. So maybe that helps.
And what you see, like, I mean, have you ever looked at a video of like any type of like machine learning, AI machine learning, anything like that? No.
Oh, it's like what? What do you mean?
So how some people apply, they program an AI who does things and continues to get better at them through machine learning. They run generations, and just like how we have generations. So it starts over generation 1. There's like 1,000 of them, and they all do different shit. And then I think it's like the top, 15 or 20% that do the best, all then reproduce the next generation of 1,000, and then or whatever the math might be, it might be higher, might be lower, but pretty much they produce the next generation, and then they go further and further along every single time. So just as we are humans, and in the era we live, we have the most effect on the global mass next generation that we're able to then steer away from natural progression.
Right. But first of all, I didn't know that. That's insane about the generations with robot learning.
Yeah.
But there's a key part you said that's what I keep bringing up, bro. You said that the top performers are the ones that are chosen.
Yeah.
We no longer live in that society.
Yeah, exactly.
We no longer live in that society. Like I've talked about it before. It's a touchy topic. I'm never gonna go back down it, but we let anybody reproduce now. The lowest of performers get to reproduce now. Yeah. So we don't make that same progress.
And the one thing with animals, an animal kingdom that we've observed, and I mean, like again, but you don't want to do that every time. But that we see, is that as the generations that survived that line of attack, well, they were just quick enough, and then they were able to survive and reproduce. They escaped that line of attack because of what could be perceived possibly luck or better genes, more agile, faster.
Think about this. That's how I don't know. I might be wrong about this, but the way I see it is everything that flies, it was so overhunted and such a prey that they had to give it the ability to literally escape the ground.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because why else? That's how I see it. I'm like, man, this thing must have been to the point where there was no other options left. If this thing was on the ground, it was a prey. Mm-hmm. So they gave it the ability to fly.
Yep.
And from there, it just develops, right? Like, we're just going to find a way to make it work. Mm-hmm. Life will just always keep proceeding, man. It's like when that flower grows out of that concrete. It's just, there's something to it, dude. I feel bad every time, like ripping vines, running up my house, and I got to rip them off. I'm like, you don't know how bad I feel cutting this vine. Yeah. But I can't let you go. Like, I've claimed a little bit of nature too, dude. And like now I've got to like kind of keep you off of it. If you just went that way, I'd leave you alone. Yeah, I wish we could talk to them.
It's like we can talk to everything. We have to get to a point in human existence where we're living with and amongst nature. Like things can be beneficial to humans, but also beneficial to natural environments. I mean, like, of course, the scale where we're at now seems utterly insane. Impossible, but I mean, it seems possible at some point that we would have to find some type of way to integrate our architectural ability with the benefit of the planet also in mind.
Have you ever read about how apparently dolphins have the ability to establish how we have?
No.
That's what they say. Apparently, mentally, they have the ability to construct us. Like they mourn together, things like they know their brothers and sisters. They have like a different level, right? Apparently, they have the ability to construct a society, to have like a hierarchy and a system of laws and things like that. But they don't have the ability to actually construct, is what they said. Like, like what are you going to do in the water, basically? You can't build it. You're not going to build skyscrapers and weapons and things with fins.
I mean, it would be the thought, I mean, the way I think about
comedian was
evolution.
Just so funny talking about it. It's like the struggle it must be with a dolphin, to have the mind to be able to do it, and the capabilities not to.
You would think as we continue to go on, their ability to do that would continue to evolve to where they could possibly build some shit down there.
You're talking so far, dude.
Dude, 100%, dude. Oh, you're talking crazy amounts of time.
They're us a million years ago.
But we're talking now. We're in a time span of what? Let's say what they how long did they say the Earth's been around? Like
10 million years. 10 billion.
I think it was a couple billion. And life, has been on here for millions. I mean,
who the fuck knows?
I mean, like on the cosmic scale, on the cosmic scale, on the cosmic scale, the amount of time
one star
that is. The amount of time that is on the cosmic scale for evolution, you would seem and it'd be conceivable that they would eventually evolve.
It's a blink of an eye to the universe. It's a blink of an eye. But to us, they're a million years away from even having a thumb at best.
Do you find the grasping that type of concept hard?
No,
kind of like chew.
I don't, because I see how fast my life goes. I see how fast. I really never understood it until I would say after 25 of how short a year is. You're like, wait, there's only 30 days. And, that's when things start to get weird to me.
And I think about COVID.
Dude, it's July.
It's
July.
When we think about that, when we think about COVID starting, I feel like that point to Like now, what are we 2022? 2 years now, 3 years
years
in.
flew by.
That feels where like it really just kick-started. You know what I'm saying? It's like absolutely kick-started and blew the fuck away,
in
bro.
our 20s, we got 2 years of fucking nothing. 3 years, really. We got fucked.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think about that. Like you were like, I was 26 when COVID started. What?
Yeah.
Crazy.
It just
That's
flashed,
crazy.
bro. Like I don't know what it was about COVID, but like that type of marker of time, and then like we have
had 2 B-days through COVID.
It's crazy. Like, and it feels like maybe, I mean, like, is that because they say people feel as though that their time speeds up as they get older. You know, as they get older.
I think you just know. You're just more aware of, damn, there's only 365 days. When you're a kid, bro, like you never think like, oh, it's 7 o'clock, I can't eat a Pop-Tart, or it's 8 o'clock, I can't go outside and play tag. You don't think like that. You just think what you want to do and you do it. Like it could be 2 a.m. You would put flashlights out there and play flashlight tag.
Yeah, and
but as a kid, as an older, you have like responsibilities. You're like, oh, I have to get up in the morning. Then it's the 24th, the 25th. I got to be a doctor. It's like, there's a part of wishes we didn't even know dating time.
Yeah.
You know, it'd all just be floating water.
Exactly. But like we counted by the same 7 days over and over again.
To count.
You know,
there's nothing to count.
No.
There's nothing.
You're counting sun cycles.
That's
you know, yeah, exactly. The rock spinning. You're counting that.
7 sun ups. This should be right.
It's like, man, we have better shit to do than count these Sundays. You
know
what?
It's 3:15. Like, what? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? 7:15.
Yeah, and like just any type of structure where like you're like wake up, it's breakfast time. You know, it's like.
I was just saying the other day with my sister when I was talking about like getting land, and I was like, I was like on my land, like I wouldn't tell people they had to be up at a certain time, and I wouldn't tell myself I had to be up at a certain time. I know I got to get things done. I'm gonna get up, right? But I'm not gonna be like 6 o'clock. We all gotta be here. It's fucking miserable. Yeah. I'm not gonna tell nobody to do that, and I'm not gonna do that. If you get here at 6:14, we can work an extra 14 minutes and figure it out. Don't
want to have to force people to come here and be like, because you understand, man. Some people aren't morning people.
Bro.
Some people need a little extra sleep. It's like that's okay.
I'm gonna tell you, dude, there's nothing more that I'm looking for in a person right now than work ethic, bro. I'm telling you, like seriously, on women and men's side, like people are just so lazy. I just think people are so fucking lazy, bro. When I think about how much I can accomplish. I hate bragging like that. I hate saying, I hate it, dude. But like, I think about how much I accomplish in one day, bro, and then hear people complain about like they had too much laundry. It's just, bro, I bang out laundry while I do the fucking dishes and cook and fucking weed whack and cut down trees.
Literally,
I get so much fucking done, bro. And so when I hear this shit, I'm just like, what the fuck are you guys talking about, bro? Like, it's just crazy. It's like almost like you want your days to seem dragged out. Like you want your day to be filled. I'm trying to think of how much time I can free up in my day by working harder to get shit done. And you're thinking of how you can fill up your day by making shit last longer. Right? So it's just a whole different vibe than I have getting anything done. At this point, like, don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm the best worker I've ever seen. I've seen workers that are just as good as me. I know guys that get shit done. But I know fucking 95 out of 100 do not even come close to the level of production that I have, bro. Like, some people tell me, like, you're efficient. And that's, like, the biggest fucking compliment to me as far as work goes. When somebody's like, you're efficient, it's like, okay, you see that, like, I'm thinking out my time. I'm doing what can be done quick. I'm eliminating things that don't make – like, there's a lot of steps that go into that.
Exactly.
So when I see that now in people, bro, I'm like, oh my God, that and ideas. Like, dude, if you got a work ethic and ideas, I swear to God, I'll find a way to link up with you. I don't care. You're dude, lady, whatever. Hermaphrodite. I don't give a fuck. If you got ideas and work ethic, I want to fucking be around you, bro. Because no one does. I'm telling you, no one does. Like, it's just the truth. I'm certain things like I used to be scared of saying things like that. Like, I shouldn't judge these people. No. People don't have work ethic, bro. And they want things to come to them. Everybody thinks they deserve something that they never earned. You know, and I think that's why I'm going to be able to beat a lot of people. It's because I don't want nothing easy. I want to outwork you for it. And you're looking for the easiest route.
There's a bunch of, entitlement. People feel entitled to things, like, I mean, like you see other people. I mean, like, that's the thing, like, it takes putting in the work.
Though.
It takes look. It's all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. You know, what I mean, like there's the glamour shots that everybody sees, but behind the scenes is where really all that takes place. No one's sitting here being excited about you. You know, like doing whatever it is you do throughout the day. Like no one but when they come by and they see the work done, now it's amazing.
Bro, do you think if people would give a fuck if Leonidas thought he should be able to butt a line? No. They wouldn't give one fuck. They would go, Leonidas should get the butt lines, right? Like how they treat LeBron James. Oh, LeBron James should be able to get a table alone. He should be able to go in front of everybody. Like that's just how they think about people. Certain people are able to get away with that because of the work they put in. So it's funny that the most entitled people are the ones who do the least amount of work. It's the bench player who thinks he should be able to go to the front of the line at the club. He's like, you don't know my name. You ever seen those type of guys where it's like, you don't know my name? Come on, I'm this person. Like nobody fucking knows you. But the ones that feel the most entitled, the ones that actually put the most work in are the most humble ones. The LeBron James, the Leonidas. You know what I mean? Like these are the guys that are the most humble, bro.
You just know, like those people knows what it actually takes for it to be done. You know what I'm saying? Like the killer instinct. That you see in people. It's like we talked about a while ago. I told you the same thing. You meet people. It's like just like you see, and you look at their ability just to like figure things out, put things together, work, or just work hard to figure it out. It's like, God damn, like that. So it goes so far. It goes so much farther than like, okay, you have like, it's like you came up with a good idea. It's like like this person worked fucking hard as shit. Like fucking just he fucking put that in 30 different ways before he was fucking sweating. They came to you and was just like, look, I found it easier to go up this way. Let's fucking get it. Like
and then we went up that way and it didn't even work. And it ended up being harder and we had to turn around. And then you go to that person, you say, thanks for the idea. That's what people don't understand. You don't go to the person and say, motherfucker, you're wrong.
Exactly.
You go to the person and you say, bro, I see what you seen there. I would have probably thought that same thing. It didn't work. Let's bang around, bro.
I mean, like literally, like like it's just like it's kind of like just like we did downstairs. It's like we went back and forth. We're going back and forth. And it's like I think this, I think that, and then we work. We come to a conclusion. We got it figured out.
Settle in the middle there.
Yeah, exactly. And you work through these things. Like okay, it's like okay, look, let's try your way. Okay, it's not working. Let's try this way, and you go from there. Just like really what's built upon.
Let the ego go.
Yeah, it's not that you were wrong. You had an idea of how something worked. You came up, and that's another thing we hinted at earlier when we were talking. Like when you are scared to go out and be wrong, that's where it becomes like a fucking poison.
Right. Well, that's why it's so easy, like downstairs for us because we're comfortable.
Yeah,
So I'm like, well, listen, bro. You're making me second guess it. But as I know it, it's this, right? But the fact that I know who you are and you're saying this,
yes, 100%,
you're making
100%.
me second guess.
Yes, 100%.
Right? So there's a different level of comfortability where like you're saying like, same reason you don't want to wear those clothes in public, but like you would rock that and show me that outfit and be like, what you think? Or you post it in the group chat on top the tub, but you know what I mean? But you might not buy it and wear it out. Like it's weird, bro. We're so haunted. We're so haunted by these shades that just hold you back from your creative mindset to producing it into the world. Man.
Yeah, I mean, like I think one like the biggest things like that we've talked about in this podcast. I remember like I was sitting there, I was like, I was I don't really I think I'm the most creative. You were like, how much time are you really putting into creating? I'm like, and I thought about a lot of shit. Like right now, like I'm trying. I'm not gonna say I'm trying. I'm looking for an artistic medium. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm looking for, I'm exploring things. I'm trying to do like things that like kind of like, be creative and like and try to just try some things. Try and find some expressive type of shit. And it's like the main thing when I thought about it's like when I think about art, when I think about creating, it was just like, man, they're not gonna like this. It's kind of like what we talked about with ideas. It's like they're not gonna like this. They're not gonna like what I make.
Yep.
And I think that's one of the biggest barriers I probably had with just thinking about like creativity and like art.
Sucks, bro. Because like I think I'm the coolest person I know, and I think you're the second coolest person. So it's like to me, it like sucks. I'm like every time I hear you say that, I'm like I must not be cool because because it's like. I like the reason that I feel comfortable being able to express my like wear a bag or something like that is because no one really impresses me to that level where I'm like, well, it's not like fucking Martin Luther King was like, dude, that bag's gay. If Martin Luther King said my bag was gay, I would be like, damn, I would have to go home and think about it, right? And be like, man, I gotta think about it. But like, if somebody around here says my bag is gay, it's like, dude, well, I think I'm cooler than you. So I'm sorry, but I can't take your opinion on this one. And maybe there's something that you will be able to substitute me in this one, but I don't think your creativity is probably matching my creativity. So your level on this one is like, I gotta take it with a grain of salt, and that probably sounds a lot of narcissist, but it is what it is. Just better believe in yourself. Fuck these people.
Exactly. You know, and just be okay to go out there and like, you know, even if you were, you know, ridiculed, just you living your truth, you being you expressing that of yourself in the face of whatever that may come.
So what do you got? Like 300 people on your Facebook, maybe 400 people, 500 people, something like that, right? How many of them create? How many of them post their creations?
Yeah, a lot of people know.
Is there 3 people, Steve? Do you have 3 people on your Facebook that post their art?
No, but like it's so.
What I mean?
So it's weird because like I work at a print company, you know, and like, you know, a lot of creative of like, you know, the ones who deal with like physical illustrations or, you know, that type of like medium, like they're not singing. Like they like the visual arts, you know. A lot of them end up doing graphic design because they want to try to apply their art and creativity to a functional career, you know, because they don't believe that, you know, either they're trying to supplement their art career or, you know, they probably don't believe that they can try and go for it. And so a lot of the people that have come through, you know, the job have also been like some of the most creative people I've ever fucking met, you know, some of the most talented people.
It's crazy. Yeah.
And like it's just weird, like because I'm like it comes up, you talk about it, you know what I'm saying? Like they have an art, but you talk to them about it, you ask them about it, you know, it's like it's just, you know, like the beauty of it is just what they're seeing and what they're putting together and what they kind of like envision and bring it into a physical medium.
That's awesome.
You know,
I
it's
love
just,
that. You think about like movies or anything like that, bro.
It's
like how everybody video games,
everybody
playing that small part.
Yeah,
but it comes back to no one's doing their own art.
Yeah,
no one is sharing their own art, Steven.
Yeah.
So who is producing art, bro? Are people not producing it, or are people hiding it? That's what I want to know.
They're hiding. They don't feel it's good enough, you know. And I think some people, you know, I think some people have, you know, like that art creative that they've ever like kind of like explored. You know what I'm saying? Like they never found what they and then as they got older, you don't even look into what you're trying to, you know, be or do or kind of like have fun with.
Earlier, where people like feel like they have to have like a crazy ideal in life or something like that. I think people feel like that about their art. Like my art has to be abstract or great.
Different, or
instead of like I can just produce art that doesn't need to be sold. Right? Like that. That's what I was trying to say. Like that's how I feel about like me doing music. It's like, okay, I can do some music and I don't have to sit here and be like make my entire identity around my rap name and my rap career. You know what I mean? Like it can be my hobby and enjoy it without being like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be the fucking next Eminem. Like,
bro, and some of the greatest art and some of the people who move the atmosphere of that, you know, art form forward and differently because they come out and they're like, I'm trying something different. Like, there's nothing like this out here. I don't.
Childish Gambino.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Or Chance the Rapper.
Yeah.
Or Tyler the Creator. Just people completely off the wall, bro. And different. Like, you know what? We love it. I was thinking about that. Like, imagine if the whole world was silent. You couldn't hear no sound, right? I was thinking about that deaf person, and then just think that right there, right? How much would you give to hear that? Yeah. If you could hear nothing, just one little beat, just hear anything. Oh my God, you'll give your pinky finger at least.
Yeah, you know, and I mean, like, you know, when I think about a lot of the art that's come up through history and time, you know, you have people, you know, going through whatever the case may be, and, you know, they bond over, you know, this type of traditional regional dance, or you have the sea shanties where, like, you're on a boat all fucking day with people. You might eventually run out of shit to talk about. So, man, we're fucking singing on this bitch. We're fucking singing on this bitch. We're singing on this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we're walking through the forest and some guy starts harmonizing some shit. Thank
Right.
you. Just like that guy, you talked about that guy. That guy's funny. You know, it's like, thank you, man. Thank you. God damn. Cut that fuck. Oh my God.
Comedians,
I didn't even realize we walked 100 fucking miles. We don't have a home or nothing, like, and we're starving because we're singing. You know, we're singing. We're having a good time. You know, like it's we're filling that void and that like kind of like that dimness of the world with, you know, just color, just an array of color. That's not like, it's weird, like, you know, like color, just I don't know, just color of everything. You know, like music paints it. Music paints it.
Like I see everything created as like a color book without the colors in it. You know, just the structure, just like you see a color book, it's just those black lines around it.
Yeah.
And you just like gotta fill all these things in with your colors, bro, and other people's colors. And like someone can paint it with you, and then it just like it'll wash away when the rain comes. And the next people that come here will fill in their colors. But like there'll always be like that background paint of what you left there. And over time, like that slowly meshes onto the front colors and like creates this color that don't exist. But it took like all these generations of colors fading to create that new color. You know, like I don't know, everything being a stencil basically, and being ready to be drawn upon and not even seeing the color and then like applying your own color to it. I think that's how like people create things that like you can't imagine how they create it. I think it starts with that color of idea of like what I study what people say too much, but someone was really breaking this down to me great, where they were saying like a lot of my friends aren't the best people, but I choose them because they're not me. They're completely different people. So every time I get around them, I can study these people and learn about like the way they think about things and the way they see colors, and like instead of me just always finding someone that I relate with. I was like, oh, I guess that's like a negative and a positive to it, right? You obviously don't want somebody that gets on your nerves.
Double-edged sword.
But like it might be cool to be with someone.
Yeah, I think you know,
like, should your partner be a yin and a yang, or should it be similarities?
Yeah,
that's the thing, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's a great experiment, right? Yeah. And you know, that's the thing with people. You know, it's like we're moving throughout, you know, this time space, you know, and the people that we're choosing to be around and how they act, and you know, you could choose to be around those people who just reinforce behavior, people who, you know, believe in different behavior. You know, it's like don't be scared up front when like, you know, people were like either make you uncomfortable or like, you know, like, I mean, of course, listen to your gut. There's some bad people out here, but like, you may not seem to click with someone to begin with, but you have the patience and you tough it out, you know, and you try. You know, I think common ground is usually the easiest, but just the big thing is just worry about having a discussion with the person. And taking it from there, like, and bounce shit back off of back.
Not even a bad vibe, but I've told you before about stories where like I've brought up certain things and people just walked out, and it wasn't like I was giving them a bad vibe, like I was violent or too drunk or nothing like that. You know, just like I brought up something people didn't want to talk about, and they just walked out on me. I think that's dirty shit. Like that's it doesn't, to me, it doesn't matter what somebody brings up. I will try. I don't know. It sucks because you end up talking about yourself so highly. You're just like, who am I? I hate thinking of myself that highly. Like it's weird. You try to humble yourself, you know? But I'm like, damn, bro. Like I can have a talk with anyone about anything, and like I'll keep it going. Like I'll always have another question or another reply or something else to bring up in my life. And it sucks because like I've clicked with people before, and then there'll be like a certain time where I'll say something a little bit off the wall, and they'll be like, LOL, true. And like I could continue that convo. I could bring up something else and just change it. Yeah. But I don't. I just leave. I just leave, bro.
I've had, like we've all had it. We've all had, you know, a very good conversation. I mean, it's like a fucking dance. You know, it's like when you are talking with someone and it's just like it is a beautiful fucking thing. I mean, like you're talking about like a rush of like dopamine, serotonin, endorphins, fucking fucking what the hell is this shit called? When you fucking go to fight or flight, you know, you go adrenaline. Okay, yeah, just pure adrenaline. Just like you're going, you guys are tangling, a verbal dance. Like you guys, it's just you have fire conversation. That's just some cool. That is just a moment to always seek out and be, you know, and,
like,
and feel.
Say, you know, I'll be having that going. Say that's going great, and then like that's the thing. I don't say the normal thing to say. So I always say something that's off the wall. And then it's like hard to explain how I'm saying it through a text message, through words. Like you would have to be here with me to be like, because I'm going to say it like, I don't know about that sometimes. But really, you read it, you're like, I don't know about that sometimes. It sounds like I'm just like, bitch, you're lying. But it would have been funny if I'd have been like, you're right. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
And so when I can't do that, it sucks because I'll still take these chances. And then like I'll see that like someone didn't get the way I was saying something. And if they continue to keep trying, I'll keep trying. But sometimes they're just like, oh, true or okay. And I'm just like, nah, you don't understand. I'm fire combo. Yeah. I could pop up in your life right now and just give you the world, shorty. Okay? See, if you're gonna hit me with an LOL true, I'm gone. I'm not coming back.
It's so funny because like I've never. I just feel like I could never do that to somebody. It's like for one, I value your conversation.
Well, I'm not really not like you or have a bad sexual experience.
Yeah, and I want to listen, and like, and I don't when people say stuff, and they come out and whether I disagree with it, agree with it, I want to digest it and then see what the fuck they said.
If you think like something was bad and like you're like, you could just be like, have a question about what you said. Now that's a combo.
I don't want to make you feel unheard, even if I'm like retorting against you, where I'm.
What do you mean?
I'm coming back at you and disagreeing
even
with you.
What do you mean?
Yeah,
that's
it's like there's either an agreement, blah 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 blah, disagreement, blah blah blah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's no middle ground where it's just like true, you ain't lie, like it's like what, like god
true.
damn.
All right,
that's why, like you get into like AI NPC type of talking shit.
I'm like, man, I want somebody that's like as desperate as I am for that combo. Right, the same way that I want that combo, then I'll keep it going for anything to try to find that. I want somebody to try to do that with then I'll keep it going for anything to try to find that. I want somebody to try to do that with me.
Yeah, that's
like, damn, man, that's a blessing.
Yeah, I mean, like you just have to go. You gotta go around and. I mean, that's why, like, I think, like, one of the easier things is, like, like, I mean, I don't know any other things. You just go to things that you like. Go to places. I don't know what else to do. You just go do things.
Everybody
just go fucking do things. I mean, like, goddamn. Yeah, you just go do things. I mean, like, you'll meet someone that.
Right.
But, like, it's a
whole different level.
You have to, kind of reach out, like, do some shit. You got to take part. If you're a dance, you gotta go out there.
You do. But, like, you can't even wear the clothes you want to wear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now
100%.
You're saying, like, go somewhere that you'll know no one in the middle of nowhere. And
100%.
Because you like it. Like, it's like,
that's what I mean.
You're right. You're right. It's right. It's like anybody, like, oh, yeah, you do. You should drink more water.
And
I should drink more water. I was turnt last night, and I wasn't going to ask for a water with my Red Bull. I was going to ask for 2 Red Bulls. I was there.
Yeah.
Where the fuck? It's like we say, the spiritual side, the realistic side. Like I always say, like the spiritual side, you're right.
Yeah,
the realistic side.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about? I ain't buying that ticket to go to some solo spot in the middle of Clifton Park. You know what I mean? Like there's a side of both sides, and I think you really do gotta trust your energy there and be like, is this the one for me? Because it ain't all for you.
No, it's definitely not.
Like a dickhead could throw an event that you like.
Yeah, but yeah, and
you're not gonna go to Epstein's sewing class because you like sewing. You know
exactly.
What I mean?
Yeah, 100%, bro. Like that's where like you gotta check out vibes. You just gotta check it out.
Right.
You know,
you gotta feel vibes.
You gotta be a vibe. And like you just gotta. You just gotta go somewhere and vibrate. You just gotta. I mean,
but you can't go there.
It's the only thing.
I'm a vibe, right?
No, you can't.
That's what we're talking about. When you're like eyes on me.
No,
I'm a vibe.
No, and so you just go. You just go a vibe and kind of. I mean, you do the shit how you do.
It's weird. I want everybody to like self boast, and at the same time, I want them to like not say anything positive about themselves. And like brag. Yeah, like I want everybody to self boast and not brag.
Yeah, what's the thing? I'm just saying, you go there, you be yourself. You're gonna have because some people may not approach you. You're gonna have to extend the hand, and just practice conversation. Especially if like you're extremely worried about that type of thing. I mean, like you gotta get over fears. You gotta get over I mean, like I feel incredibly anxious about these things, you know. But like, you gotta go out there, you know. You gotta do those things. Like,
You got to.
I mean, fucking. Like, I don't know about you, but like, you know,
are you doing it? You know what I mean? Like, you got to. The thing, like, we all know we got to, but are you doing it?
Yeah, I mean, you know,
very few of us.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely.
Who we want to be today.
I definitely, you know, stepped out of like, you know, like large. That's the thing, man. Like, I think about things like, you know, like raves. Like, I think about like the Dreamscape. You know, I think about those types of events, bro. Like, so like they're so like anxiety inducing. Like, it's just so crazy. Like, how much like resentment I feel outside when I'm leading up to an event like that, of just not wanting to go, and I just make myself go and have a blast. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, you know, just like it's just so yeah, just so yeah.
Like we would say though, like kind of that last one really did something for us though, right? Like it seems like you like I don't know personally like with that last one, like I feel like those nerves are gonna really be gone in my future festivals. Like I know I'm good now. Yeah, I was at my worst. I was at my worst, like about to ask if someone could drive me home, to like 1 hour later being like, "This is the best thing ever." So like at this point, I'm like, okay, I know I'm good, and I know I'm gonna have fun. I know it. I know it now. I've done it.
Yeah.
I've done it. Once you've done it, you overcame it. That you don't gotta question it anymore. I now know I can overcome it. I can have fun. It's fun. I'm gonna love it. Oh, man, I need to let go. I need to freeze.
Such big learning experiences. Not just for only like just like, you know, like because I mean like you're going out there. You come with a group, but you know nobody else. It's a big ass event. You're sleeping here. It's like it's fucking and that's just that's the same by itself. You're coming here to sleep with a bunch of strangers on a mountain. You know, it was banging up drugs. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like you know what I'm saying?
It's like hard electronic music to 5 a.m.
To just fucking vibe out to. And then you come to an environment. You see the type of culture that these people try to cultivate with these types of things when they go to these things. You know, the openness, the being yourself, the wearing what you want to wear, the ultimate expression of what you want to be. You know, like what we wore was 100% conservative. What a bunch of other people wearing and how they feel about like what they want to wear to this rave. There's that guy who was in that fucking like T-Rex cow uniform. Like, what the fuck ever? He walked around with a staff. Guy wearing a fucking thong. Dudes, was in the fucking mini skirts. They dressed in, like they're doing whatever you want.
I dress like a cat.
There's some people who consider like wooks. They got dreads. They're doing their thing. There's other people who are like
naked. There's
some guy here. He's in a polo T-shirt. Like, what the? You got every fucking thing going on here. Like,
there was a moment I remember that pool, like where I did a 360, and it was like literally like it was like a white guy in leather, a black dude with a bucket cap, like an old lady. Like it was just like this. I was just like, you will get this nowhere else, bro. Pool party with literally like every single person you could possibly imagine. Yeah, all personality types and traits. Yeah, that's what sucks about it. That's what I was saying about those experiences where they haunt me because no matter what I choose, I regret it. That's just how it works with me. And that's what I was trying to tell you that day, like with that reef thing. Like even with that pool, like we had such a great experience at that pool, but like we didn't even get in the water like that because we were having that experience. So we didn't have that other experience. Yeah, and it just haunts me, dude. I don't know why. Like I still had a good experience, but I'm like, damn, man, like. Would have been doing that, or like that might have been funner. And it's like a curse, dude. I wish I wasn't like that, man, because I had a great time. But I'm always just like, damn, you had a great time, but you should have got up.
Better, yeah.
Or you should have sat down. Like,
that's what,
bro. Yeah. Fuck, bro. Like, man, I just wish I could just get that out of my mind, dude. Like,
and then now at this point,
even when you have fun, like I had fun.
Yeah,
it was okay. I can accept that moment for what it was. But I still want more from it. And even knowing that if I would have chased more, I would have got less maybe. But I still just haunt myself with that, bro. It's weird.
So, like now we're looking at that thing, like what's that, 3 months ahead now? Or 2? What was that, March? That was May. Yeah, May. So we're about 2 months ahead, 2 months out from it. Ahead of it, behind us. We're ahead of it. We're ahead of it.
No, if you were ahead of it, that means it would be coming.
No, we're ahead of it, so we're ahead of it, bro. No, it's not ahead. We're ahead of it, so we're in front of that. We are ahead.
Okay. I see what you did there. We're ahead of it. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, like we're looking back on it now, and like you're having these thoughts, and like Like you have to apply that to like the next time you get that anxiousness out there, that fucking rave floor. You're just like, look, you could be looking back, you would have wished you would have fucking done this. Let's go out and fucking do this shit. Like, but man, tackling that shit is fuck. I mean, don't get me wrong, bro. You know, like it's huge. It's huge.
Physically impossible, bro. Like that water. I'm like, damn, man, I want to swim. I physically cannot handle that water temperature.
Yeah, oh, bro, that was like, freezing that first day.
Bro, it's crazy because, you know, I talked to multiple people and they were like, the water wasn't cold. I'm like, what? And the water was freezing, dude.
Yeah, that shit was not, like, I never forgot.
I remember in there for like 5 minutes, we're like, okay.
I remember when we were like, doing the squirt guns and everything, everyone was going crazy. Like, we were just like having our thing, you know. I remember
that was fun.
For one moment, you know, I just sat there, I'm just like, oh, yeah, exactly, shit, bro, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nah, that was physically demanding.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember like
couldn't do that.
I remember like the thing about also, I remember I'm sitting there, I'm just like, cause you just feel those fucking sun rays. I'm sitting there, I should just jumped in the pool, you know, and cooled off. You know, I've been fine, came right back out. I've been like, you know, cool. But I'm just like, I feel like I'm getting eaten up by this fucking sun. This shit's fucking roasting me. I'm roasting out this bitch. I'm being cooked. I'm like, yeah, I'm just sitting there like, and then like, of course that's fleeted by other thoughts. You know, you imagine we even put it back. We talk real quick. I'm looking at these fucking trees, and I'm back to being like, damn, my shit fucking burns. Like, you know, like, and I kept spraying. I kept putting the sunscreen. You know, I'm just like, okay,
you put so much on.
Yeah, I'm like, I ain't get burned though.
All that
I should have just jumped in that fucking pool. You know, I feel like I probably would have cooled me off, made me feel great.
Yeah, it's crazy to think though, like if you could have like felt nauseous 17 days later, and it could have been from that sunscreen that you took. Like that's really how it works, though. I think people don't understand that.
Yeah,
and
true,
people
man.
think like, oh, well, that's done. Like, nah, bro, that shit's with you. That shit sticks with you, and it might just concoct one day with an oxygen molecule that don't sit right with the carbon molecule that was inside of that WD-40. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, you got a rash. Like, that's how shit just starts going, bro.
Yeah.
So you know, like you got a headache. You're like, where the fuck does headache come from? Oh, I was in that tunnel. I was in traffic in the tunnel last week, but it didn't come till the day. And now all of a sudden, that neuron chemical is a little bit sticky in that motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
you throw all that.
But you're like, oh, I didn't have my coffee.
You throw all that under your tripping balls, though. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you got a million things to go.
Oh my god,
we're shutting it down. Who you got tomorrow? Are you going Arsenal? What's the score?
I'm going Arsenal 2-0.
Arsenal 2-0.
That's what we're going with.
I'm gonna say Everton gets one.
We're going.
I'm gonna say
Yeah,
Everton gets one.
I ain't getting shit.
Love you all. Stay safe. Enjoy your Friday.
Like, share, subscribe.
Fuck Steve,
Fuck
Arsenal,
you, Facebook.
Gummy worm dick.
Fuck you, Facebook.
Keep it sexy. Fuck you, Facebook. Gummy worm. Zuckerberg dick.
Have a good night. Oh.